tuning back into Boss Lady News. You guys got a chance to exercise and work out with me and Rocky and Nikki and Stephanie. And thank you, Stephanie, once again for coming on to the show. If you guys go on to Facebook, you can look her up and you can hashtag Go Green Fitness, and that's GEO Green Fitness, and you can find her videos and everything about her. Now I am on the stage with Ursula Gaymes, and she is a Regis student from graduating in 2014, which is next year, and currently she's in school. And I just want to kind of get a student's perspective on what's going on right now. So thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you.
And I wanted to, I guess, first know more about you. A lot of people don't go to college, so what really encouraged you to go?
Well, first, I'm originally from Boston. I graduated from O'Brien High School, and now I'm a senior at Regis College, majoring in international relations and a minor in sociology. That's all.
And what really encouraged you to go? Was it family?
I would definitely say my educational background. I went to Stepping Stone Foundation, which really encouraged students to go to one of the 3 exam schools in Boston. And I went there for a year and a half. And just going to O'Brien, the environment in O'Brien was very encouraging of students going on to college. I can only remember about only one person who didn't go to college right after I graduated from my high school class.
What made you decide on Regis?
Regis, it was more of my safety school. I really wanted to go to Tufts University, but my sister also graduated from Regis back in 2012, and just having that familiarity with her, it really made me go to Regis College.
Okay. So I went to school and I graduated. I got my associates and I got my bachelor's. What is your degree? What is your plan?
Well, I honestly want to take a year off before I go to even consider grad school or any post-grad. I actually applied for City Year, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. And I'm also considering joining a program called Massachusetts Campus Compact, which also where you do a year of service with after you graduate.
Like community service?
Community service.
Is it like education?
Education, it could be youth. It can be wherever you want to put your focus.
Okay. Wow. So being in school right now and going through the everyday life, you're from Boston, but you're dorming at Regis.
I actually lived at Regis for 3 years, but I'm actually a commuter this year.
Okay. When you lived at Regis, to make the decision to live on campus, was that a decision you wanted to go with, or was that like encouraged?
I wanted to go live on campus. Reason being, like at the time, I didn't have a car, but now I'm getting used to using the T in public transportation.
One of my coworkers, she went to school, and she said dorming was like the worst experience for her. How did you feel? Now that you're a commuter, how did you feel about dorming?
I like both. Dorming, it was very... If you're a commuter, you don't really necessarily get involved in the campus. You just literally come and you go. But dorming for at least 3 years, it gave me that solid foundation. I got involved in some of the organizations at my school. You get to know people. If you're just a commuter at my school particularly, people will not know you at all.
Because you're just in and out.
You're in and out.
Yeah. Being at school, what did you get a chance to do? What did you like the most, or being at school?
I would say living there. I enjoyed living with my roommates. I enjoyed getting involved in some of the organizations at my school, particularly student activities. I would say that made my college experience the most enjoyable.
Yeah. And guys, the reason I know Ursula is because I got a Facebook invite to an event in Regis. And I was like, oh my God, should I go? Shouldn't I go? And I hit her back, and I'm like, okay, you know, Boss Lady News is going to come through. I've got some people coming with me. So it was the Black student organization that the event was coming from, and Ursula is the founder of that.
And current president.
So what made you decide to, did you start the organization? Did you jump into it because it was something that was there, but it was failing?
Actually, a Black student organization never existed at
Oh,
Regis
wow.
College prior.
Okay.
So when you start college, you start looking at all the organizations that might interest you. And back then, there was something called AHANA, so that was the multicultural group there at the time. And you will find them at BC and BU at any big, large colleges. There will be a multicultural group. However, the group kind of just fell off. And my incoming freshman class had the largest minority group.
Okay.
Because my school recently went co-ed in about 2007, and they also started to pull in boys in a lot of minority groups. So the school historically was all Catholic, all girls, and all white. And my class had the largest minority group coming in. And just having discussions among my friends, like it just felt like the school just accepted us, and we were just like there. And a lot of them used to express to me like, oh, I don't really feel like I fit in. There's nothing here for us. And I had a very close relationship with the director of student activities back then. And we discussed starting a Black student organization because AHANA pretty much fell apart, and all the Latinos or Hispanics went to LASO, which is a Latin student group, and all the Asians went to AAA, which is the Asian group.
Okay.
And there was just nothing.
Nothing for the Black
No.
student organization. Okay.
So
you
it pretty much came out of that.
Wow, that's really cool. So one of the other reasons why we're here today is while we were talking, you had mentioned that you guys had brought up a conversation about interracial dating. And first, I wanted to know, how did you guys kind of get onto that topic?
So at our general membership meetings, we will always have a discussion, a topic of discussion. So even before we got to interracial dating, we started talking about light skin versus dark skin in the Black community, and natural hair versus perm or weave and stuff like that. And our third discussion this semester was interracial dating. So we usually go by what people want to talk about. We have a little suggestion box, and everyone wants to talk about it. So that's how it gets brought up.
And that's one of the best ways to sometimes talk about things, because if people are not willing to have the conversation, then the topic's never going to be discussed. So we're going to cut to a brief PSA, and I'm going to bring the ladies back on stage, and we're going to discuss interracial dating. So we'll be right back.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
It's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 260.
That's how many runs were walked in with the bases loaded last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's the number of kids who witness bullying. 3 out of 4.
Not a good stat.
No, it's not, but that can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. You can visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
So, all right, we're going to jump right into it with Ursula. She's here from Regis College. And now I've got Nikki Marie and Rocky back on stage with us. So we all kind of have a little bit to do with biracial dating, marriage, children, all of that. So I'm going to let you kind of lead this conversation. So when it came up at school and everybody wanted to talk about interracial dating, how did it start?
It started, one student actually wanted to really talk about it because I believe one of his parents was Haitian and one of his parents were Dominican. So he really wanted to talk about it. I was like, okay, fine, let's talk about it. And it's probably a very heated debate because there's some stigma about interracial dating within the Black community or people's choices. So it gets pretty heated in those meetings.
So what is your take on it?
My take on it is do it for the right reasons. Some people say they want to date outside of their race because they don't like the people of their race. And I think that's wrong because you're really generalizing a whole group of people off of probably like 1 or 2 bad experiences. If you're going to do it for the right reason because you actually like the person that you're dating, not because X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Nicole Marie. Now, when I told you about my topic with her, you had mentioned that you are biracial.
I'm a product of being biracial. My mother's Irish and my father's Native American. And you know, back in the 70s, early 70s, when my mom was dating my dad, it was kind of like almost foreign back then. It was foreign back then. So my mother got a little, you know, she got a little stones probably thrown at her because she was dating a black guy. And, you know, my father probably got some things thrown at him because he was dating a white woman. So needless to say, you know, love trumps all. And, you know, here I am today. But I'm happy with it. And like you said, do it for the right reasons. Love is colorblind. So, I mean, you know, if that person is loving you and treating you right, it doesn't matter if he's Asian or white or Haitian, Dominican, it doesn't matter. My children are half Puerto Rican, so, you know.
You never know what
You never know what God throws at you, you know, at the end of the day.
And with dating. Rocky, I know you've got a lot going on in there.
Well, I'm the same. I'm a product of biracial relationship. My mother is Irish, French, Canadian, and Swedish. My dad is Trini and Black. Yes, from Greenville, South Carolina. So like his family's like real Southern and like, oh, what are you doing? And my grandmother, I grew up with my grandparents, and for me I didn't accept me being biracial till I was in high school, adulthood, college, and then I feel like when you are in high school, like your parents would be like, oh, only date this. Don't bring home no white girl. Don't bring home no black dude. Don't do this. And I was just like, I don't care if he's purple. If I like him, I like him. And I hope he likes me too, because if you're purple.
Yeah. I know for myself, it was really weird because I was raised with my grandparents also. And my grandfather was Black Native American. So he was against everybody. Like it was almost like you couldn't date anybody because everybody was a foreigner and everybody is like, you know, against what was already here. And coincidentally, my brother starts dating like this Haitian girl and I start dating a Puerto Rican. So he's like, the world's going to hell. But, you know, I think it's kind of awesome that you guys have brought up that topic, especially in the college environment. So do you see a lot of that happening throughout the school? Now that the school is co-ed and there's
kind
this
of
influx?
50% and 50% minority. There's a few, yes, I would say that people interracial date. There's a guy who's like Italian at my school in my global economy class, and he's dating some Hispanic girl. But
and I gotta say, at the party, all right, so like I said, I was gonna go to this college party, and this white boy, his name is White Boy, okay, on Facebook. He hits me up and he's like, you're coming from Boston? Okay, cool, can I get a ride with you? And so, you know, obviously he's very comfortable even being around the Black community that he would hit me up, and I told you gas money. So in the school and the college environment really gives you an opportunity to kind of open up, you know, what you've been taught at home or really change your mind about things. And again, you know, do you see a lot of that going on in the school? And if you don't see a lot of that going on in the school, do you see pods of people? Like, do you see separation still?
Like racially throughout the whole school?
Yeah.
Sadly, yes.
Okay.
Even when you walk into the college cafeteria, all the lacrosse players who are majority white sit on one side, and then all the basketball players on one section, and then like, ironically, everyone who's like a minority sits like in this one section on the right side of the cafeteria. It's just, that's just still how it is.
Wow, okay. You said in the 70s is when your parents were coming up.
Yeah.
And, you're a product,
Early
both
90s.
of you are a product of biracial. Growing up, did you notice anything?
I definitely did notice things growing up, especially like when I was a little girl. Like my mother lived in public housing. She's probably the only white lady that lived in the projects at this time. And, you know, I was born in '74, so I'm still young, I'm still young. But with that said, you know, her living in the projects, predominantly black, they kind of shunned my mother out of the projects because here's this white woman with this little black baby. Like, we don't want her living there. And they actually set my mother's house on fire.
Wow. So it was
Yes.
reverse racism.
Yes, it was. My mother got a little slack from her father and her mother at the time. And my grandmother, my father's mother, took my mother in and kind of, you know, raised her, taught her how to cook collard greens and fried chicken and stuff like that. My mother can, but she could throw down. So,
Next
you know,
Thanksgiving.
but as time went on, my family, you know, my grandfather definitely accepted me. My grandmother definitely accepted me. And they just said, you know, this is what it is. This little child is innocent and we're going to love her regardless. But growing up throughout school, I did get some slack because my friends were all black. And here comes my mother coming to the school and she's white. So everybody would like tease me and call me names, say I'm a white girl or I'm confused and stuff like that.
So mean.
Yeah, they was mean
People can
back
be
then.
mean.
You know, kids can be mean.
Even now.
Yeah.
And Rocky, for you?
For me, it was early '90s, so it was kind of starting to come around. But still, when I was in Boston, I lived in West Roxbury. And West Roxbury is like predominantly, like literally, I was the only black person there, and I'm half black. So like, it was like, what? It was hard. It was hard for me because I didn't notice, and I was like, why do I look so different? But my grandparents, because of how they were raised, it took me a long time to figure that out. It took me to figure out that that's how they were raised. So to them, I could have been like as black as anything, black as night. And then when I hanged out with African American people, I was this white girl. So I didn't know how to identify at all. I was too white for the black people, and I was too black for the white people.
That's always, yeah.
And then I even as far in elementary school to like escape teasing, I went as far as, I told somebody I was adopted once. I was like, because I
But
didn't
you
want
know
to get
what?
teased.
Now it's 2013, and I would say that everyone needs to open up, and you guys need to change your perspectives, whether you're older, in college, or, you know, get an opportunity to just jump into the entertainment industry. This is Boss Lady News. If you guys have some topics you'd like me to bring up, feel free to email them out, bossladynews@gmail.com.